ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪੁ। ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪੁ। ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪੁ। ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪੁ। ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪੁ। ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪੁ। ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Thank you to everyone that's come so far. I suppose while we're waiting for everyone else to come, the Barksim's not here today, is he?
No, he's not.
He's not here for the... No.
Should I get the kids to come in here then?
How? They're excited again.
Yeah, they've all gone. Excellent.
Do they think the Barksim's there?
Yeah, because some of them came downstairs looking, and then I said we'll go back up.
Okay.
I'll get them to come in.
Yeah. Okay, so last week we had Sakhi time. Deg Singh presented a Sakhi to us about Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj's first battle, which was really good, where he put it out there for the whole Sangat. So I really like the fact that he did it in Punjabi and English. He split it so everyone can understand. ਤੇ ਉਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ first battle, why they went into battle in the first one. The elephant that they were gifted, that special elephant, the Jandua Sahibs that they got many things. So that was good. And last week I asked the Sangat who will bring a Sakhi for us this week, and Paji said they were going to bring a Sakhi for us this week. So what we decided after was, because Daru Singh did put his hand up to say he wanted to do a Sakhi, but what we've decided is, if no one volunteers, actually I shouldn't be telling this to anyone. Yeah, I'm not going to tell it. Yeah, but anyway, Paji ne kiha si Sakhi ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਗੇ, so I'm going to pass it over to Paji.
ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਉਹਦੇ ਵੀ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਬਹੁਤ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬਾਅਦ ਚੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕਰ ਲਾਂਗੇ, ਵਿਲ ਰੀਕੈਪ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਰੀਕੈਪ ਕਰ ਲਾਂਗੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਚੋਂ. So Paji wrote
ਭਾਈ ਸੋਮਾ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ,
ਭਾਈ ਸੋਮਾ ਜੀ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਭਾਈ ਸੋਮਾ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ, ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੀ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਜੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਗਰੀਬ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵਸਦਾ ਸੀ। ਮਾਂ ਤੇ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਕੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਝੁੱਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ। ਮਾਂ ਮਜ਼ਦੂਰੀ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਗੁਜ਼ਾਰਾ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਸੀ। ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਬੁੱਢੀ ਮਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਦੀ ਬਾਂਹ ਫੜ ਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ, ਪੁੱਤਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਹੁਣ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਭਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਤੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਕਰ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੂੰ ਥੈਲੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਕੂਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਲਈ ਚਲਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ। ਮਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਛੋਲੇ ਉਬਾਲ ਕੇ ਦੇ ਦਿਆ ਕਰਾਂਗੀ ਅਤੇ ਤੂੰ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਟੋਕਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਵੇਚ ਆਇਆ ਕਰੀਂ। ਅਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਗੁਜ਼ਾਰਾ ਕਰ ਲਵਾਂਗੇ। ਅੱਜ ਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਛੋਲੇ ਉਬਾਲ ਕੇ ਟੋਕਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਉੱਪਰ ਰੱਖ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਅਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਜਾ ਵੇਚ ਕੇ ਆ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮਾਂ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਹੜੀ ਗਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਹੜੇ ਚੌਂਕ ਵਿੱਚ। ਮਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਿਆਣੀ ਸੀ, ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਜੇ ਗਰੀਬੀ ਕੱਟ ਸਕਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਘਰ ਹੀ ਕੱਟ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਪੁੱਤ ਤੂੰ ਇੰਝ ਕਰ, ਤੂੰ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਛੋਲੇ ਵੇਚਿਆ ਕਰ, ਬਹੁਤ ਸੰਗਤ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਨ ਅਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਛੋਲੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਿਕਿਆ ਕਰਨਗੇ। ਛੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਬੋਰੀ ਵਿਛਾ ਕੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਟੋਕਰੀ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਜ਼ਾਂ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਏ, ਛੋਲੇ ਲੈ ਲਓ, ਛੋਲੇ ਲੈ ਲਓ। ਅੱਜ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਜਦੋਂ ਦਰਸ਼ਨੀ ਡਿਓੜੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਤਾਂ ਤੋਤਲੀ ਜੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਕੰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਈ ਅਤੇ ਛੋਲੇ ਲੈ ਲਓ। ਇਹ ਕਿਹਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਬਾਹਰ ਆਏ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਇੱਕ ਗਰੀਬ ਜਿਹਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਫਟੇ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਮੈਲੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਅਤੇ ਬੋਰੀ 'ਤੇ ਬੈਠਾ ਆਵਾਜ਼ਾਂ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਛੋਲੇ ਲੈ ਲਓ। ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਬੱਚੇ ਵੱਲ ਵੇਖੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਅਤੇ ਸੰਗਤ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ। ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਸੋਚੀ ਪੈ ਗਏ ਅਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀਓ, ਬਚਪਨ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਿਰ ਉੱਪਰ ਵੀ ਮਾਂ ਬਾਪ ਦਾ ਸਾਇਆ ਉੱਠ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਅਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਛੋਲੇ ਵੇਚਿਆ ਕਰਦੇ ਸਨ। ਜਦੋਂ ਗਰੀਬ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਆਵਾਜ਼ਾਂ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਯਾਦ ਆ ਗਿਆ। ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਕਦੀ ਸਿਰ 'ਤੇ ਟੋਕਰੀ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਵਾਜ਼ਾਂ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਛੋਲੇ ਲੈ ਲਓ। ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਬੱਚੇ ਕੋਲ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ। ਕਿਉਂ ਬਈ ਕੀ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਤੇਰਾ। ਬੱਚਾ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਖੜ ਗਿਆ। ਕਿੰਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਣਾ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਚੱਟ ਦੇਣੀ ਨੀਵਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਅਤੇ ਬੋਰੀ ਦੇ ਥੱਲਿਓਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਕੱਢਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਅੱਗੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਇੰਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਣਾਏ ਹਨ। ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਹੱਥ ਕੀਤਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦੇ, ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ, ਸਾਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਹੱਥ ਉੱਤੇ ਰੱਖ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਅਤੇ ਮੋਢੇ 'ਤੇ ਰੱਖੀ ਬੋਰੀ ਟੋਕਰੀ ਅਤੇ ਚੱਕ ਕੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਰ ਪਿਆ। ਇੱਧਰੋਂ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਮਾਂ ਉਡੀਕ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰਾ ਲਾਲ ਆਵੇਗਾ ਅਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਖਾਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ। ਮਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਲਿਆ ਪੈਸੇ, ਕੁਝ ਖਾਣ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂ। ਉਹ ਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਕਿ ਮਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਜਾਵੇਗੀ। ਕੀ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਹਾਲ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ। ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਅੱਜ ਪੈਸੇ ਦੇਣ ਨੂੰ ਤੇਰਾ ਦਿਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ, ਡਰਦਾ ਡਰਦਾ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਹੈ। ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਗਰੀਬੀ ਵੇਖੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਹਾਲ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਮਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਪੇਟ ਤੋਂ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਨੇ, ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਨੇ। ਜਦੋਂ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਛੋਲੇ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਟੋਕਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਮਨ ਮੈਲਾ ਨਾ सॉरी मैं बोला बात में मिक्स ही होता है। ਮਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਅੱਜ ਪੈਸੇ ਦੇਣ ਨੂੰ ਤੇਰਾ ਦਿਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ, ਡਰਦਾ ਡਰਦਾ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਏ। ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਮਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਮੇਰੀ ਸ਼ਾਬੀ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਆਏ ਸਨ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਪੈਸੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਉਹ ਲੈ ਗਏ ਹਨ। ਤੇ ਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੁੱਟ ਕੇ ਛਾਤੀ ਨਾਲ ਲਾਇਆ ਤੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਚੰਗਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ। ਦੂਜੇ ਦਿਨ ਉਹ ਛੋਲੇ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਟੋਕਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਅਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਛੋਲੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਦਿਨ ਉਹ ਛੋਲੇ ਵੇਚਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਪੈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਆ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਨ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਖਾਲੀ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਚਲਾ ਗਿਆ। ਤੇ ਮਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪੁੱਤ ਕੱਲ ਵੀ ਰੱਜ ਕੇ ਖਾਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਧਾ, ਪੁੱਤ ਪੈਸੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਲੈ ਆ ਖਾਣਾ ਖਾਣਾ ਹੈ, ਸਵੇਰ ਦੇ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਹਾਂ। ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਮਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਫੇਰ ਆਏ ਸਨ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਲੈ ਗਏ ਹਨ। ਅੱਜ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨਾ ਵੀ ਆਟਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ 2-4 ਰੋਟੀਆਂ ਬਣ ਜਾਣ। ਜੇ ਗਰੀਬੀ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉੱਪਰੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਉਧਾਰ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੰਦਾ। ਮਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਟਕੋਰਾ ਭਰ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਜੇ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦਾ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਰੱਜ ਕੇ ਪੀ ਲਈਦਾ। ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਗਰੀਬੀ ਵੇਖੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਗਰੀਬੀ ਕੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਮਾਂ ਪੁੱਤ ਪੇਟ ਤੋਂ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਸੌਂ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਨੇ। ਜਦੋਂ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਛੋਲੇ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਟੋਕਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਮਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪੁੱਤ ਮਨ ਮੈਲਾ ਨਾ ਕਰੀ, ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਲ ਨਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵੀਂ। ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਆਉਣ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਦੇ ਦੇਵੀਂ। ਪੁੱਤਰ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਦਿਨ ਛੋਲੇ ਵੇਚੇ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਤੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦੇਵੀਂ ਤੇ ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏ। ਪਰ ਉਸਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੀ ਟੋਕਰੀ ਚੱਕੀ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਬੋਰੀ ਚੱਕ ਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਰਿਕਰਮਾ ਵੱਲ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਤੁਰ ਪਿਆ। ਛੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਸੰਗਤ ਨੂੰ ਪਰੇ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਣਾਏ ਹਨ। ਜੇਬ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਇੰਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਣੇ ਹਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ। ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਬੀ ਲਾਉਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਕਿ ਤੂੰ ਦਿਨੋਂ ਦਿਨ ਤੇਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਘੱਟ ਕਿਉਂ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਦੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਲਈ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਦਿਨ ਦੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਲਈ ਸੀ। ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਅੱਜ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਸੇ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਤੁਰਨ ਲੱਗਾ। ਪਰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦਿਲ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੈਸੇ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਜਾਇਆ ਕਰਾਂ, ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਗਰੀਬੀ ਅੱਗੇ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲਦਾ। ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਗਰੀਬ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਈ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਹਾਂ। ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਮਿਆ ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਅਮੀਰ ਹੈ। ਨਹੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਗਰੀਬ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ 3-4 ਦਿਨ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਕਈ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਰੋਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਧੀ। ਨਹੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਫੇਰ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਮਿਆ ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਅਮੀਰ ਹਾਂ। ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਅਮੀਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਖਾਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੱਪੜਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਖਾਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਰੋਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇ ਪਹਿਨਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੱਪੜਾ ਨਹੀਂ। ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਮਿਆ ਤੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਅਮੀਰ ਹਾਂ। ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਛਾਤੀ ਨਾਲ ਲਾਇਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਸ਼ੀਰਵਾਦ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ ਸੋਮਾ ਸਾਹ ਤੇ ਸਾਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਹ ਦੇ ਬੇਪਰਵਾਹ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਆਇਆ ਕਿ ਸੋਮਾ ਸਾਹ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਦਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ। ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਕਹਿ ਦੇਣ ਤਾਂ ਦਿਨ ਬਦਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ।
ਬਹੁਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਰੀਲੀ ਗੁੱਡ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਜੋ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ ਉਹ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਫਿਰ। ਸੋ I'm just going to briefly tell the kids in English what the Sakhi was about quickly, yeah? And I want you lot to tell me what you lot learned from that story, yeah? Comes Dilbag Singh share stories with you guys as well, does he? Does he share stories with you guys? No? He don't share Sakya with you? Okay, so here I just shared Sakya with a story from Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj times, our fourth Patsha, our fourth Guru. I'm just going to tell you briefly what the story was about. So there was a single mother who was very poor, had one child called Soma, yeah? And what they used to do was sell chickpeas. So the mother would send the child out to go and sell some chickpeas. And the child asked the mother, where shall I go to sell them? Then the mother said that go outside the Darbar Sahib, Harmandir Sahib as we call the Golden Temple, yeah? Go outside there because a lot of Sangat goes there, you can sell them there. You'll be able to sell them. And then he went there, set up his little, with the basket, started selling the shole, making money. Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj came out and saw by Somaji sitting there, and then went up to him and he said, Nakia, how much have you made selling all of this? He took the money out from under the body, from under where he was sitting, and he goes, Maharaj, this is how much I've made. Maharaj goes, give me the money. Now these are really poor, yeah? They've not got enough food in the house, they've not got anything to eat, but he gave all the money to Maharaj without thinking twice about it. And then he went home, the mother was looking forward to it, right? And the mother said, how much money did you make today? And he said that, I got darshan of Guru Sahib Ji, and he asked for all the money, so I gave the money all to him. Now the mother got really happy, hugged him and said, Shabash, well done. And then the next day he said, Jo, go and sell the shole tomorrow, the chickpeas tomorrow. Went again, same thing happened. Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj came and said, give me all the money that you've made. Gave the money, went home again, same thing. They didn't have anything to eat that evening either. And then the third time happened again, next day. Mother that night said that, look, we haven't got anything to eat, absolutely, like, so hey, we'll just drink some water tonight and we'll just go sleep like that. Anyway, he went back with however many chickpeas they said had left, went there, but Guru Sahib didn't come this time, because the mother did say that if Guru Sahib come again, make sure you give the money again, if Maharaj asked for it, yeah? How would that be making you feel at that point? You're hungry, you ain't got anything to eat in the house, you've not eaten anything for 3 days, and Guru Sahib Ji come and take all the money that you're going to use to buy the food, right? How would that make you feel? Would you agree to it? Would you give it to Maharaj? Or now that you've heard the Sakhi, you probably say yeah. But if you didn't hear, really put yourself in that situation. If you've not eaten for many days, what would you guys do? Anyone? What would you do?
Half eat
How?
and then half give money.
Okay, fair enough. Are you doing half? Yeah, that's fine. That's a good answer. Clever. And anyway, so Maharaj didn't come out. Then what he did instead was he said to himself that my mother said that give the money to Guru Sahib Ji. So he went into the Darbar Sahib, went and met Maharaj. Then Maharaj said, how much money did you make today? He goes, hey, this is how much I've made. And then he was about to walk off. And then he said to Maharaj that we're so greeb. Maharaj goes, you're not greeb, you're amir, you're rich. And he goes, no, Maharaj, we're so greeb that we haven't got any food in the house as well. Maharaj said the second time, so may you're really rich you are. And then the third time Maharaj said it again. And then Maharaj did a bhajan that you're going to be a Badshah one day. So, and then later on in his life, he became like a big governor in the city of Amritsar where he was, and he became really rich in the end. But ਇਹ ਸਾਖੀ ਤੋਂ ਭਾਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਸਿੱਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਲਿਖੀ ਵੀ ਆ ਸਾਖੀ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹੂਗੀ
ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਿਆਰ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਪ੍ਰਤੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਹਾਂ ਯਾਰ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਯਾਰ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਪਰ for anyone else what else have you learned?
I think the sooner we realise everything is Maharaj's and we shouldn't think anything is ours, easier the life will be. I think it'll be much easier.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking. I think we quite often forget that everything we have is Guru Sahib Ji's anyway. But as we start thinking that this is mine, I made it, I worked hard for it, I'm doing the main for it, so it's all mine. But it's what Guru Sahib Ji give you end of the day, you know? Whatever main you do. Now, anyone else? What else did you learn from that Sakhi? Anyone? Learn anything?
You don't just say, never think anything, never have second thoughts about what Guru
good. Well done. Never have second thoughts about what Maharaj say to you, which can easily be done as well. Like in that situation, I'll be honest. If I was in that situation, I'd probably like thinking like, you know, I don't want to give it, I know, because if you're hungry, I know. And
I learned that even if you're poor and if someone else asks you for the money and you don't have any of the money, you should still give it because Vibhuji is watching you, so they will still give you money back.
Vaibu is watching you and they'll give you money back. Yeah, good. Well done. Really good. So that was brilliant Saki. Well, thank you for that. It's really, really beautiful Saki that was by somebody, you know. And for me, it was that child. It was a child that did all that, you know. So quite often that in Itihas history, we always hear of stories about old adults where Maharaj is blessing adults. Maharaj is talking to adults, but this was a child that Maharaj is talking about. And look at this today. We've got a lot of kids in the room as well, you know? So the Saki relates to quite a lot of the children as well. You know? What's it? Stop. So thank you so much, Vadi, for that. Thank you. Who wants to bring a Saki next week? Thank you so much. You're going to bring Saki for us next week. Thank you so much. Let's continue on the journey of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj and see where Maharaj is going to take us today. So I'm going to do a quick recap from last week. Yeah. So I know some of the kids here today. I don't want you guys to get bored, so I'm going to try my best to present the Saki in a way where you guys learn from it. Yeah. So I know Aman knows, a few of you might know that we've been going through Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's life for the past couple of years. Yeah. So not just a couple of weeks, a couple of months. We've been going for the past couple of years. We're going through their whole life in proper detail. Yeah. And we're going on Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's travels that you might have heard about. You might have heard of certain Sakya stories here and there. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj are travelling with their friend Bhai Mardana Ji and Bhai Balaji, and they come across this mountain. Yeah, they go up this mountain, and at the top of the mountain there's a group of sadhus that live there. Now sadhus are saintly people. Yeah? They sit there and they do penance, they do bhakti, so they'll sit in one place and they'll do simran. Guru Sahib Ji go to meet them, but Guru Sahib Ji go there to meet them and challenge them in a way as well, because they've come off the path. They're starting to do other things. They start to do things that it goes against Vaheguru's will, right? So Guru Sahib Ji go there, and Guru Sahib Ji spend many months there, and then they have a good conversation about Vaheguru, who Vaheguru is. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj teach them, and then after they teach them, they leave that place, and then they come back down the mountain. As they're coming back down the mountain, they meet other saints along the way, because there's certain locations, certain places down the mountain where sadhus or saints have got their little place set up where they can focus on doing bhakti, where they can focus on doing simran. Guru Sahib Ji meet a few other saints. As they're coming down, they've met someone called Bhagat Prahlad Ji. Yeah, Bhagat Prahlad Ji get mentioned in the Rera Sahib in the evenings when we do Path. Bhagat Prahlad Ji are sitting there and they're doing bhakti as well. And Bhai Balaji, Guru Nanak Maharaj's friend, asked Bhagat Prahlad Ji, can you tell us your story? Like, tell us your whole story. What's your, how come you're here doing bhakti? We've heard about you. So they had heard about Bhagat Prahlad Ji, how they got saved, Vaheguru saved them. So Bhagat Prahlad Ji is telling their whole story. And I'm not sure if anyone here, Bhagat Prahlad Ji we've heard that famous Sakya about how they were about to get killed and Narsen came and saved them, and Vaheguru came and saved them in that rupa, and what happened, right? But I was proper shocked when I was listening to a Katha today that who Bhagat Prahlad Ji were, the whole story of their father, Harnakas. So we're going to go through that now, and we'll hopefully learn something new, Hannah. So, recap from last week. Bhagat Prahlad Ji are telling Bhai Balaji the whole story and saying that my father, Harnakas, wanted to get so powerful that he wanted to rule over the world. Yeah? And he started doing penance, he started doing tapa, he started focusing on getting powers. And as he was sitting there, he was so focused where he went into a trance where he forgot about his body, he couldn't feel no pain, he couldn't feel where he didn't know where he was. He was so focused in it that he was sitting there for so many years even that trees, branches were growing around him. Yeah, the branches, leaves were growing around him. There were like ants and bugs just crawling over him. Moss was growing on him. So he just sat in that one place without moving for that long. And then someone called Brahma, one of the Hindu gods, Devta, we call him Devta, he came down and he saw him sitting there and he got impressed with his strict penance that he's doing, right? And then they said that open your eyes, ask for whatever you want to ask for. And then Harnakas did namaskar. He goes, I do namaskar in your charan, I bow to you. You destroy all sins. But Brahmaji asked, Harnak said that you ask for whatever you want to ask for. I'm impressed with your penance. You can ask for whatever you want to ask for. And then he goes, Harnak says, if you've got a desire to give me something, then whatever I ask for, give me that. Whatever I ask for, you can't say no to that, yeah? So, again, this is something to think about, yeah? Especially with children, because when I used to hear stories like this, these stories, especially ਸਾਖੀਆਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੋ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਸੀ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ if they ask a Gursikh that ask for whatever you want to ask for. I always used to think to myself that what would I ask for if you were in that situation, right? What would you ask for if you were in that situation? Just it's something to think about, right? So Guru Sahib, they have given you an opportunity. They're saying that you can ask for whatever you want to ask for now and I'll make it come true, right? Something to think about. What would you ask for? So, and we're going to learn now what he asked for, yeah? He goes, the first thing I ask for is that I never die, yeah? Ki main kade marya na. And he goes, I don't want to die inside or outside, not at night, not in the day, yeah? No shastra can kill me, no weapon can kill me, not on the earth, not in the sky, and I want everyone to be scared of me. Look what he's asking for, yeah? I mean, it's crazy what he's asking for. He goes, I want everyone to be scared of me, and I want everyone to be in my agya. So I want everyone to listen to me. I want to rule over the world. I want everyone to be beneath me. He's doing this benti, he's making this request to Brahma, right? So can you imagine having that sort of power? Imagine if you're that powerful in school or whatever, wherever you're working and stuff like that, that everyone's scared of you, everyone's beneath you, that whoever you talk to, they'll just get scared of you, yeah? That you'll have that sort of power. And saying that that's crazy what he's asking for. And then with all this what he's asking for, his ego was just going to get bigger and bigger, his hankar. And then I ended it last week that what the Sikhi teachers, Raj na chao, Mukta na chao, Manpreet Charan Kamalare, that we don't want the Raj. A Gursikh never asks for that sort of stuff. A Gursikh always asks for I just want your love, Maharaj. Yeah, I just want your love, I don't want anything else. And then what did Brahma say back to Harnakas after he did that request? So imagine this, he's asked for all these things. Now Brahma's probably thinking, what shall I do? So I left it there. Let's praise Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj and we'll continue on the journey, yeah? Gyan dhyan kich karm na jana, sar na jana teri, sabte vata Satgur Nanak, jin kal rakhi meri, sabte vata Satgur Nanak, jin kal rakhi meri. So after Harnakas, so Bhagat Prahladaji's father, he did this benti, kiti, yeah, to Brahma. Brahmaji doing his satkar. So Brahma he had respect for Harnakas because of the penance he did. Did he on tapa kita? And having that satkar for him, he said that whatever you've asked for is a bad thing. Brahma said, he goes, you've asked for a bad thing, but seeing your tapa, seeing your strict penance, I will give you this. So Brahma agreed to giving him that. And he goes, everything you ask for, I will give you it. So Sara kuch tu mangya, wo main damanga tenu. Brahma said this, and then he went back to his realm after giving him what he asked for. Harnakas was overcome with joy, as you can imagine. He got really happy. Oh, khush ho gaya ki mainu hona hai shakti mil gayi ki I can't die. No one can ever kill me now. I'm so powerful, everyone's been scared of me now, right? He's so happy, khush ho gaya ho, but at the same time, he got a lot of hankar as well, he got a lot of ego, which is really bad in Sikhi. Yeah, it's the worst thing that you can get is hankar, which we all are culprits to this. कि ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੰਕਾਰ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਹਨਾ. So sometimes if you work for the adults, ਜੋ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਹੋਵੇ, if we do work like we might start getting hankar. If you talk to someone in a certain way, if someone talks to you in a certain way, you get hankar. Even children your age, you might get ego when you're at college, when you're at school, when you're with your friends. You have to be careful of that. And I remember listening to Katha a couple of days back. मैं सुनी कथा और Sant Janel Singh जी कथा सुनता सीगा, and उन्होंने विच किया उन्होंने कि जेड़ा बंदा whoever's got hankar, whoever's ego with them, that person is weak. He's weak-minded. ਉਹਦਾ ਮਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਮਜ਼ੋਰ ਆ if they've got hankar, ego. But the person that's humble, that person that's got nimrata, he's a strong person. And so Harnakas has got this power, and he remembers his brother, and he got Krodh. So his brother got killed by a Devta called Vishnu, and he gets Krodh, and he started to challenge Vishnu, and he starts shouting that I challenge Vishnu. And then slowly over the months, over the years, he started taking over all the realms. Jithe Devi Devte rende ne, wherever the Devi Devte live, these angelic beings as they are, they live in these certain realms. He started taking over all of these realms, destroying everything and making it the way he wants. He was so powerful that he went and sat on Indra Devta's throne. They all started to fall at his feet as they were scared of him. So he got what he asked for. जिन्हें भी देवी देवते से सारे उन्हें चरना जाके पैरां जाके देख पंदे सिगे हरनाक दे पैरां because they डरदे सी उन्हां तो हम. They all started to fall at his feet. News started to spread across the world, in that world, that ho gaya, and then the face started to spread as well. Sare dar gaye. Everyone got really scared of Harnakas. No one could challenge him. Kyunki inni shakti ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੀ, he had so much strength, he was so strong, no one could challenge him. All the Devi Devte, all these angelic beings were getting upset, and then they do an ardas to Vishnu. They praise Vishnu and then said, please listen to our plea, please listen to our benti. You can destroy anything. We do namaskar in your charan, we bow in front of you. Please get rid of this problem, please get rid of Harnakas. After doing this benti, making this request to Vishnu, they get Akash Bani from the heavens. Yeah? So they hear Vishnu speaking to them. After doing this ardas, Vishnu said, don't worry about anything. You don't have to worry about anything. Thanu kisi cheez di chinta karne di lod nahi hegi. He goes, I know about Harnakas. Mainu pata udi taakat kinni a. What I will do is, I will make his son into a pagat, into a sadhu, and he will go against his son. He will go against his own son, and that will be the destruction of Harnakas. Then we will kill Harnakas. Hearing this, the Devi Devte, they do namaskar, they bowed to Vishnu and went back to their realms. And then they got a bit of peace, having faith in knowing that Harnakas will get destroyed now. Before starting the next part of the Itihas, so guys, you know this Itihas, this history that I'm going through, line for line, is written by someone called Kavi Santokh Singh Ji. Yeah, Santokh Singh Ji is their name. They had the ability to see the history happening as it was back then, and they're writing all the history down, line for line. And Kavi Santokh Singh Ji, before they start the next part of the Itihas, Ustad kar diya Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. And then by Balaji continue the Katha, and they say to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, ki hey Maharaj Ji, listen to what's going to happen next. Because what's happening is, by Balaji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's friend, have gone to the next Guru. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj have left the world. They've gone to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, and they're telling Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj that I spent my childhood with Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj says, tell me about Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. So by Balaji continue the Katha. ਉਹ ਕਥਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਗਦ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਅੱਗੇ ਕੀ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣੋ. Bhagat Prahlad Ji then told us the rest of the story. So Bhagat Prahlad Ji said, including me, my father had 4 sons. So Prahlad, mera naam si, Ahlad, Sahlad, Ahlad was the 4 brothers. Harnakas was happy that he had 4 sons. Oh, khush ho gaya, he was really happy that I've got 4 sons. He goes, but me, I always focused on prema bhakti. What's prema bhakti? Prem means love. So doing bhakti, doing simran, focusing on Vaheguru is the highest form of penance that you can do. Highest form of bhakti is that unconditional love for Vaheguru. And he goes, I didn't do what other kids did. Other kids used to play around, they used to play games as all kids do. But he goes, I never did that. I was doing Simran day and night. So what I would do was, in the day I would focus on Vaheguru, and night time I would focus on Vaheguru as well. My focus was on Vaheguru's Jaran. I used to get Bairag. Bairag means sense of separation, where you get sad that I'm separate from Vaheguru. And then he used to get sad as well. But then he used to get happy at times as well. And he used to sing loudly. He said, I used to say, uchi uchi gaunda hunda siga, ustat Vaheguru di karda hunda siga. Sometimes I stayed quiet. He goes, sometimes I didn't say anything to anyone for ages. I would just stay quiet. I just used to stay quiet doing bhakti. He goes, tears were always coming from my eyes. Because that bairag. He goes, I never slept or I never ate. Mornings and evenings, always doing Simran. I never liked or enjoyed anything else. And he goes, one day, my father did a lot of praying with me. And then he sent me to 2 teachers that could teach me Rajniti, because my father wanted me to follow in his footsteps. Rajniti means politics, how to play politics. So he goes, he sent me to learn Rajniti. And he goes, I would try and study, but I never listened to the teachers. One day, my father sat me in his lap and said, whatever you have learned, jo kuch bhi te sikhya tu teacher to o mainu das tu. Tell me what you've learned. He goes, when I heard this, I said to my father, ki Pitaji, what I have learned and I want to tell you is hard to understand. Normal people can't understand this. And he goes to his father, Bhagavad says, you shouldn't have more. You shouldn't have attachment. Leave this attachment with everything that you have in this world. We should do Simran, and we should do Seva of the sadhus. After doing Simran, we will get rid of ignorance. And then when my father heard this, he laughed. Oh haspya hai sun ke jo main unhu kya Simran karya karo Pitaji. Oh haspya, and he called the 2 teachers and said, what are you teaching my son? What are you teaching my son? He wants to focus on bhakti. Who taught him this? Make sure he doesn't do any sangat of any sadhu. Keep him in your home and teach him well. They kept him in their home and in a quiet place asked Bhagat Prahlad, they said, Prahlad, who has taught you all this? O Samudas, you don't need to do all of this Simran, this bhakti that you're doing, that you're talking about. Edi karni lord nahi hai ki tenu. He goes, Bhagat Prahlad said, I laughed and said, you are looking at the world from a point of view that this person belongs to me, or this person is important, I'm not going to talk to this person, I'm not going to help this person. That's not how I see it. To me, everyone is the same. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, our 5th Padshah, Guru Arjan Ji Maharaj, O Sanu Dasde ne Gurbani vich, they teach us, and they say that Na ko beri nahi begana, sagal sang hum ko ban ai. That Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj said, jere sadhu hunde hai na, sadhus get to a point where there's no enemy for them and no one is a stranger, and they get along with everyone. They live in Guru Sahib Ji's will, they live in Vaheguru's will. Because I see everyone the same. I do namaskar to Vaheguru. What Bhagat Prahlad Ji here what they're doing is saying to teachers that you basically suck up to my father because of who he is. You're scared of my father. That's why you are the way you are. But for me, everyone's the same because they see the light in everyone. And he goes, this is Vaheguru's play. He goes, I do namaskar to Vaheguru. This is all Vaheguru's play. You are scared of my father, but I'm not. If Vaheguru does kirpa, then doubts are dispelled and the path is shown. But normal people don't understand this, and that person doesn't get mukti. He suffers throughout his life, is stuck in the cycle of life and death. After hearing this, the 2 teachers said, Harnaka's son has kotaman, meaning that he doesn't think straight. He's got bad thinking. They brought a stick to beat me and scare me. Bhagat Prahlad Ji kende, unhone ek danda leke aanda mainu daraun nu ki assi tenu marange. They wanted me to take on their teachings. Jo kuch oh sikhona chaਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਤੂੰ ਸਿੱਖ. But I didn't agree with anything they said. I just went quiet. मैं चुप हो गया. Time passed this way, and after they thought I had learnt everything they taught me, they took me to my father again, hoping they would get rewarded. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਏਦਾਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਨਾਮ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਾਤਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਾਪਸ they did matha take to my father hugged me and sat me on his lap ਹਰਨਾਕਸ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਗੱਲ ਵਕੜੀ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਿਠਾ ਲਿਆ and he said, my son, you have spent a lot of time away learning. ਕਾਫੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਤੂੰ ਕੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ what have you learned tell me that ਫਿਰ ਭਗਤ ਲਾਲ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ I have learned that you should listen to the praise of Vaheguru. I have learned you should always do Simran yourself too. I've learned that you should do Kirtan and you should do Seva. Doing namaskar to your guru and have bharosa in your guru, treating Vaheguru like your mittar. Look at these teachings that we can take away with us for today is this, that Bhagat Prahlad ji keh rahe ne to their father that we should treat Vaheguru like your mittar, like your friend. I think I've mentioned this before in the past as well in Friday Night Sikhi ki how many times kinni kawari asi ja ke jo ardas karde ha mare de agge jadon asi when we do matha take ja kare vi after we've done part we do ardas to Vaheguru, we do ardas to Maharaj. Have you ever talked to Vaheguru Maharaj in a way where you're talking to them like your friend? Mittar mangu tusi gal karde ho kade Maharaj naal? If you do that, then oh dil khol ke banda gal karta hai, then you speak like that with Maharaj then, if you treat Maharaj like your friend, like like they're your best friend. What happens in dunyavi taur te, let's look at it that way. Dunyavi taur te, if you're in a situation you're troubled by something ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੰਗ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਮੁਸੀਬਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ when you talk to your friend about that ਮੁਸੀਬਤ when you talk to your friend about that obstacle what happens your problems get halved ਮਨ ਹਲਕਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ automatically ਮਨ ਹਲਕਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ that's it, I've got someone to share my problem with in that same way if you have this mentality that when you come to Guru Sahib if you've got an issue talk to Maharaj ki Maharaj I've got this problem Maharaj can you please help me sort it out. It could be any problem. And Bhagat Prahlad ji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ treat Vaheguru like your mittar. Pitaji, you should do this too. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਏਦਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. Harnakas heard this and he got really angry. He got so angry he started grinding his teeth and his eyes became red and he said to the two teachers, he goes, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ? What have you done? You haven't taught him anything. ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ. You have made his man mela. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਨ ਮੈਲਾ ਕਰਤਾ. Why have you taught him this? There's no one lower than you two. Your mentality has gone bad. They said, and then फिर वो कहते कि we're not at fault. The two teachers said, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਗਲਤੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਹੈ. We didn't teach him this. ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜੀ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਇਹਨੂੰ. No one else even came and told him this. He has learned all this himself. You can't blame us. Harnakas, my father then looked at me. Bhagat Prahlad ji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj nu Harnakas mein pita ji ne mere wal dekhya and said putter ji your teachers didn't teach you this. Where did you learn this from? It was kitho sikhya. I said Pitaji leave this way of life. You will only get dukh. And then they said a murukh person will not get bhakti. They don't understand what bhakti is. Why is it so important to do bhakti? I think when going through Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Jivan sanu inna ta hun pata lag hi gaya even if we don't understand it and we've got that little bit of knowledge ki how important bhakti is because Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj ne whoever they met whether that person's a king whether that person's poor Maharaj said to everyone saranu simran karya karo do bhakti whether we do that or not I don't know is that's down to you to ask yourselves do you listen to your guru and do you do that bhakti that Maharaj is saying do you do that simran ki Maharaj kende sar naalo zaruri the most important thing in your life is to do Simran, is to repeat Vaheguru's name and focus on Vaheguru, nothing else. But the sad state of affairs is this, that in this world, the way the world's going is so distracting with everything that's in the world, with social media, with the news, with just the way everything is. It's so Maya orientated. Maya is taking you away from everything, taking you away from what's important, the true essence of it. So Maharaj Bhagat Prahlad ji kende a murukh person doesn't get that though. Why it's so important? Pitaji, then you won't fall into the cycle of life and death. Why don't you do bhakti on Vaheguru as well? You should focus on this and serve the sadhus. This world ocean is very deep, but with the kirpa of Vaheguru you will sail across. He goes, after I said that, fir mere Pitaji bahut gusse ch aaye. They became very angry. Bahut krodh ch aaye. He started to shake. and then he became very scary. Ekdam his eyes were bloodshot red. He picked me up from his lap and threw me across the room. And then he told the two teachers to grab me, and he gave the order to kill me to the two teachers. He said, so the father is saying, "Enu phado, tanu maar do, kill him." So the father saying about his own son. He shouted that I'm not his son. He shouted, and he said that I have a disease about doing bhakti, and before it spreads, we need to kill him. What happens next? We're going to have to wait till next week to find out. Yeah? So we'll leave it at there. I think we can't even know what's going to happen next, when what happens, but in this much detail, I've never heard it before in this much detail. So, have you heard it? I've heard it for the first time.
There's a few Shabad in Bani. At least 9 times Bhagavad Prahlada's name comes in Bani. At least a couple of Shabad, they explain the sacrament, like they tell the name of the teachers, Sanda and Marka.
Yeah, the teachers' names as well, yeah. And but it's very interesting though. So we'll leave that there. We'll continue that next week. Has anyone got any questions? So we could spend about a couple of minutes on a Q&A. If anyone's got any questions in their mind to do with Sikhi, something that might sometimes, I don't know, bother you, someone's asked you in the past, we'll try our best to answer that then using Sikhi then. You got a question?
It's about the Sakhi.
Hanji.
How it was for the Prahlad when they told him and the Maharaj?
How?
Old were they?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know how old they would have been. Because this all happened before Guru Nanak Maharaj came into the world. But the sadhus that Guru Nanak were meeting along the way, the sadhus that they've been around for ages because they practice yoga vyas, right? Yoga. So they could extend their life, that by using breathing techniques. They could extend their life, and they could stop their breath. Even all of them, the yoga vyas was the big thing back then. So all these sadhus are doing that.
Was Bhagavad Prahlad from a different yoga, or was it from Kali Yoga?
Give it yoga to Sita when that happens. When that happened.
Definitely not Kali Yoga.
Kali
I think
Yoga.
it was the
Huh?
Treta.
Treta Yoga. Okay, happened in Treta Yoga. It might have happened at the end of Treta Yoga and then Kali Yoga. But yeah, I don't know how old they would have been. That came across my mind as well, a question that. Yeah. Anyone else got any questions at all? And what?
So you know Guruji Darbar,
Hmm.
how there's seats there.
Hmm.
I heard that you're not supposed to sit on seats. Is that true?
So in Guru Sahib's Darbar, downstairs, you mean the benches that you have at the back? So the benches, yes, it's unfortunate that we have them we're having them they're coming into the Gurdwara. Some people might, there's arguments this in it, some people say there, but for old people it's hard for them to sit in the Darbar Sahib, so it's a bit sad for them to not be in there and do all that, right? The thing is, it's in Maryada wise, in Sikhi, you're not supposed to sit higher than the Sangat. For Guru Sahib, you sit higher than Guru Sahib is a really big pop anyway, right? But even sitting higher than the Sangat is a really big pop as well. Sitting higher than the Sangat, no matter how old you are. It depends on your mentality. And I'll tell you a story, on this. So if someone thinks that it's okay for old people to sit on the benches, yeah? So firstly, you've got one story about Sant Baba Nand Singh Ji, right? You can Google them. Sant Baba Nand Singh Ji, bahut vade Mahapurukh hoye, right? Right to the old age, white dadi. When they used to sit in a sangat like this, jo sangat kathi hundi sigi, and they used to sit, they had one of my mindset was that I can't sit on the same level as the sangat, because in the sangat, Guru Sahib Ji reside in the sangat. Waheguru resides in the sangat. So what they used to do was dig a little pit, and then used to sit in that little pit, so they were below the sangat. Now this is someone who were old, yeah. That's one story. Another recent story I can share with everyone is I know this saying, and this saying goes to South Hall Gurdwara. Many years ago now this happened. Many years ago, he went to the South Hall Gurdwara. He went upstairs, and this is Nama Sikhi Jaya. He was Nama into Sikhi. he went upstairs to go into the Darbar Sahib, and there was a Mata sitting outside the hall, and he goes, no, she was standing outside the hall, sorry. She's standing outside the hall, just standing there for ages. As he was getting ready to go in, he goes, she was just standing there like this. And he goes, "Ode man vich aaya," he wanted to ask, he goes, "Mata ji, theek ho? Is everything okay?" And then she said that, "Hanji put me to thali nahi baya, I can't sit on the floor. So I'm just standing here, na? It's okay." And then he goes, "Shall I get you a chair so you can sit inside?" And then she goes, "Nahi. She goes, "I can't do that." She goes, "Inna badda paap main thodi kar sakdi, I can't do a big paap like that." She was old, she couldn't sit on the floor, physically she couldn't sit on the floor. She goes, "I can't do a big sin like that." And then he was like, "Oh, chalo, shada honi hai." And then she goes that, but my Maharaj ne here ardas kardi ki Maharaj make me sit on the floor so I can sit in the sangat with everyone. And then he goes, after a couple of months to a year, he went back to Gurdwara for whatever reason he was there. And he goes, I went in, and he goes, he was walking down through Matha Tek, and as you walk in, no one was in this hall, and he goes, he looked over to the Prashad area, and he noticed the Mata sitting there. The Mata utte she get that floor, on the floor. And then he goes, and recognized her, when I did Matha Tek, went to go and get Prashad, and he goes, "Mata, did you recognize me from like ages ago?" And she was like, "Oh, he goes, it's outside." She goes, "Oh yeah, I recognize you, I put to get that tika and all that stuff, and she goes, "Mata, how come you sitting here?" And she goes, "Mara ne ardas only. Mara, listen to my ardas, that I want to be sitting in the Darbar side with the Sangat, on the floor. I don't want to sit higher than the Sangat. And whatever issue I had physically with the good day with the knees, Maharaj made it to go away. No doctor could make it better. No one could have, but Guru Sahib made it better. And that mentality is what we need. Not that mentality that I can't sit on the floor, I'm not going to try, I'm not going to bother, so it's okay, I'm just going to sit on the bench. Because that's how it's going to be. So I remember listening to someone saying that, okay, if you put one line, say you put two rows of benches or whatever, for a certain amount of old people, once that line gets full, then what you're going to do, make another line. And then once that gets full, then you're going to make another line. And slowly it's going to become like a church then, isn't it? That whole concept of sitting on the floor, nimrta or whatnot. So yeah, I know it's a controversial thing, everyone's got their own take on it, no, it's not a big thing or whatnot, but these things do slowly, it's not our concept, that isn't. And a sad thing is gone to India now as well, in certain Gurdwara. Pindale Gurdwara, if you've gone there, Pindale Gurdwara jo aa gaya hona na, utte main gaya, Pindale Gurdwara gaya, main kaha itthe bhi aa gaya hona, and it's sad. I think itthon jo sangat jandi utte da introduce kar dinde. But yeah, it's wrong to do that. Do you understand all that? Does it answer your question? Yeah? Theek hai. Anyone else? Got any other questions quickly before we call it a day?
It reminds me of an analogy. Like if you put a frog in a boiling water, it will immediately jump out of the boiling water. But if you put a frog in like cold water and start to heat the water, the frog will like boil itself, but it won't jump out of the water. So this slowly degrading of our values, like like slowly changing that mentality, losing our values, is that kind of approach basically.
Yeah, definitely. Really good example, that is. Really good example. Slowly it destroys it. Ben, you had a question?
Yeah, I agree with everything everybody's saying. Isn't it to do with where we live in UK and India is in India? So when these things happened a long time ago, doing everything, cooking and everything, bending down a lot. It's interesting, Ben, you said it's going to India now. Everyone's taking it. Because I think the bottom bread here in India is there. It's just the way we are, our structure, the way we work, our postures and positions as well, isn't it? We're not used to sitting on the floor, our joints and things go. We have problems. Like you say, do Maharaj Benti and do prayers. Sometimes medicines don't help. Prayer is a powerful thing. You've got to believe. And we're not believing. We're going away from that, you're right.
We're going away
and
from
we need to go to the alternative medicine. There's lots of things you can do. Like you do yoga, you do bar, you do simran. You need to carry on doing everything. And you'll get there. But we're not aware of it, people are not practicing it. Well, we need to show each other how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And then look, this whole, it's like you come to Friday Night Sikhi, and now that you've learned it, hopefully you'll bring this into your Jeevan, your lives, and going forward, no one will do it, right? No one will sit on benches or whatnot, and you can tell other people as well, your family, friends, and stuff like that, what the reason is. But it's so like I remember when in no way should anyone think I'm being big-headed in any way. I'm praising myself in any way. But I remember when I had an accident and I broke my ankle. I was on crutches. Some people might remember, but I was in a plaster. I had a plaster. I was on crutches. I couldn't sit. Like I used to come to Gurdwara. I remember someone, this uncle, coming running up to me with a chair in the darbar. He came running up to me. He goes, "I'll be able to sit here." Like when I was sitting on the floor as well. I was sitting on the floor like this comfortably, and he goes, "Put better." I go, "Nick, why not better?" He goes, "No, it's too He's saying to bed. I go, "I'm fine. There's no issue whatsoever. No problem nahi hai, and then he had a koi." But again, it's your mentality. Oh, but Maharaj has given us that knowledge, right? If I didn't have that knowledge, then yeah, I probably would have sat on the chair. Yeah, my bed is here, not thinking of it. Sakhi, there's Sakya that come as well. Where like Ben is saying that no one used to sit on. उस वेले कुर्सियां होंदियां सी, there were thrones, the मंजे उत्ते बंदे होंदे से लोग. So that Sakhi comes with Guru Har Rai Ji Maharaj, right? Satवें पातशाही जी, वो एक चौधरी होंदा है. There's a Chaudhary that comes, like who's a governor of a certain area. He goes to get Dajjal Maharaj, but he has a lot of hankar in him, right? Because not agreeing to sit on the floor, even though you probably can try to, is hankar, is your ego saying, "No, main nahi thale behna. Okay, I'm going to sit on the floor, I'm going to sit on the bench." Oh, hankar hunda vich. That Chaudhary did, that Chaudhary came, and he came and sat on the manja right on the head side of Maharaj, where Maharaj is. Jithe Maharaj baithe si, but on the head side. He just came and sat on there, Chaudhary ban ke, whereas all the Sangat were sitting on the floor. And then some of the Sangat got angry. Maharaj ne ishara karta ke nahi kuch na karo. He went, and then Maharaj gave a really bad bhajan saying that yada nash ho jana sara kuch. And he became, overnight he became poor. He lost everything. Sara kuch chal gaya udhar. That happened. Whereas he could have easily think, But yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Is a good question that you had. Yeah. Anyone else got a question quickly before we call it a day?
But I haven't got a question, but I think Singh's made a really good point, and I don't think that even our elders have been educated to why. That is a major part.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to a lot of Muslims and brought up the same question, and they're like, "But the new people are." And I'm like, I'm not saying it. I think Maharaj is saying it. That this should be the way, and it's some of our elders that are 70s, 80s, 90-year-olds that are saying, "Sade to bani hunda, tu salat das pe minu. Main Maharaj di chori vich bana aaya, to tu salat das minu." And I'm like, I can't give you an answer, but you've given a wicked one. Do your Das Maharaj, he'll answer it. But I think that's a fundamental problem, that a lot of our elders do believe that if you can't provide me a logical solution outside of doing your Benfi to Maharaj, how else are we going to sit in Maharaj Puri?
Yeah.
That's what I think is a problem, because the lack of education to that level of the elders. I think
if they want to sit in the Sangat, I can guarantee now, without guarantee that if they did Ardas and they did certain exercises, or if they sat there and did some malish and go down the Aab and do the Ardas to Maharaj, guarantee you Maharaj will listen. Maharaj will make it better. But if you have that, but they have to have that Sharda Prem. Prem wali gal ho gayi that I really want to sit in the Sangat. Maharaj tusi kuch kripa karo not that.
Yeah, mine was the same thing, because I broke my ankle years ago. Yeah. I stopped. I couldn't sit. In my Jui, so I slowly trained myself.
That's it.
Even now, when I sit here, I'm constantly moving my leg because it falls asleep because of the way I broke it. It was a complete snap. But you gotta do you know, I could have quite easily bailed and said, oh, I broke my ankle.
कहीं नहीं देखा होगा like on social media internet पे देखा होगा I've seen first hand videos of people saying नहीं मैं तो नहीं थले बैठ हूँ I can't sit on the floor है ना वो गुस्से होंगे सारे bench पे बंदे ने and then वही बंदे वही बुजुर्ग old people are proper dancing in parties and stuff I've seen videos first hand of that same person doing it like proper and they're coming out with moves man yeah when they're doing it they're coming out with moves like where's your body problem gone now yeah it's a shame Allah but it's yeah but we no don't ever that Paul ke bhi nahi behna hai kyunki ये बहुत बड़ा पाप है ना हमारे लिए हाँ जी मतलब you got question
I'll say it in English because I don't know Punjabi much. Yeah, I understood, but I can't reply.
Yeah.
Okay, as you are talking about the sitting on the floor, this is reality. 4 months ago, I had a very bad accident just here near. I was coming to Gurudwara.
okay
The guy knocked me in the middle of the road without giving indicator.
right
And I was knocked on the middle of the road. I could not even breathe.
all right
I could not even get up.
okay
And he knew it was his fault, so he came out from the car. He said, Auntie, get up. I said, it's like a stranger person. How you are going to give your hand to him?
yeah
But I was wearing coat, so I had to give no choice. It was raining, it was dark. I was coming to Gurudwara, and the husband and wife, both of them lifted me up. And God grace, Babaji is omnipresent. I'll be honest to you. He said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Gurudwara. He drove me outside here, just this Gurudwara, and he went away. He knew it. If he come inside, everyone knows me. He did not give indicator. But God grace, I could not even breathe.
right okay oh wow
And my leg is still swollen now after 4 months. But as you were talking, that made me say it. God has helped me. I can still say it. Even my GP said that scan and everything, you will be in the clutches. But God is great.
yeah
This
look at that innit? And I know Martha from a Hindu background innit? Your mother she comes here
Gujarati, yeah.
she comes here from Delhi where we see her all the time here her background Hindu but look at that like और की है is अपनी बंदे है ज़्यादा
Everyone shouted in my family. Baba's grace, I've got 3 doctors in my house, my son, his wife and my daughter.
Right.
They shouted me, why didn't you go to the hospital? I said, Babaji's grace, I could breathe and I got up and it's COVID, I didn't want to go to hospital. I tried not to, but look at the way you said, I did not broke my bone at this age, I'm 75 already.
yeah
Isn't this God Babaji's grace?
of course it is
What else you need?
it's the love that you have for wife isn't it yeah
I'm not that very good.
yeah
but
good anyway guys we'll call it a day there thank you so much for coming and letting me share this share this itihas with everyone and give me the opportunity to do this if I made any mistakes please forgive me guys we'll continue same place same time same place next week we'll continue on what's going to happen next and Sal's going to bring a saki for us next week as well so we'll call it a day there let's do Simran just for a couple of minutes and we'll praise all the Guru Sahibis and we'll call it a day yeah Vaheguru 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 तन है गुरु नानक देव जी तन है जपो तन है गुरु अंगद देव जी तन है